how to sell 100+ homes each and every year. Our third part of our series, as Anna said, of how to find, list, and sell. So in today's session, we're going to be taking you through everything you're going to need to know to make sure that not only are you getting the property sold at the highest price, that you're getting the property sold in the shortest amount of time, and that you're also building a great relationship with your seller that's going to produce you referrals, reviews, and I'm going to explain some techniques on how to streamline the inspection objection process. So a lot of great things that are going to help you really become an excellent listing agent, okay? Again, as far as my background, a little bit of information on me if you're new to the class. So I've been in real estate about 18 years, started out as a real estate assistant, had every job in the real estate game, and now I'm the wonderful owner of the Bardic Group at Keller Williams Real Estate. We're the #1 real estate team in Denver. Also have, I'm the operating principal and owner of Keller Williams Integrity in Cherry Creek, Colorado, or Denver, Cherry Creek, that has about 200 amazing agents that are just absolutely phenomenal. And so I've had a lot of different roles in the industry. I still sell every day. I have a listing going active tomorrow. I sell now with the team involved. I used to sell about 130 homes every year myself personally. As I started to build out the team, I started to sell a little bit less and became more involved in the operational aspect, but I still probably on a regular basis sell 30-ish homes a year still, even with having the team. So this isn't theory. This comes directly from me being out in the streets. This comes from 2,500+ listings. This comes from years of experience. And so hope you get some great pointers, and if you have any questions, just let us know in the chat box. All right, so we're going to jump right in. I'm going to start off today with probably the most game-changing technique that I had learned, which is called the promise. So the promise is a strategy that we deliver to our sellers and or our buyers, depending upon the scenario, that we're going to, and I'll just give you the exact pitch. So let's just pretend, Anna, you are our wonderful seller, okay? Yeah. So I'm at the listing appointment. I'm sitting down. I've gone into the house. I'm sitting at their kitchen, out there in their living room, going over their goals. And so, Anna, one of the things that makes my organization and myself very special is we deliver upon what's called the promise. Okay, and the promise is to provide you with the most exceptional real estate experience on earth. Throughout this transaction, my team and I will be checking in with you to make sure that we're delivering on our promise. Now, when we deliver on that promise, Anna, I'm going to ask you to do 2 things. Number 1, if you'd be so kind to provide us with a 5-star review on Zillow. And then number 2, refer someone to us that you know that is looking to buy or sell a home. Does that sound fair?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So the finesse of this is that now I'm setting the highest level of expectation that they're going to have the most exceptional real estate experience on earth. And I'm also going to be checking in with them throughout the transaction to make sure I'm delivering on this. Now, you could go deeper into this. And so, we've had a couple of different ways where, so Anna, let's just say that, during the transaction, something goes sideways, or, we have an appraisal concern or something. My goal is to make sure that I'm still always delivering on that promise. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that that issue is resolved immediately. And then I'm going to check in with you to make sure I resolve that issue. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Right? So you can take this and go deeper and deeper. Now, the strategy of the promise, which I'm going to show you throughout this presentation, is now my goal is their expectation is when I do what I'm going to do, they're going to deliver to me an expectation that we've already had this verbal agreement, which is deliver me a 5-star review, and refer somebody to me that's looking to buy or sell real estate. Now, I'm going to check in with them on this promise at a couple of different stages. Number 1, I've done it right now with the presentation, okay? Number 2, you could do it, you could check in once you take the property active. So, hey, the property's active, Anna, just wanted to check in and make sure I'm still delivering on that promise. Everything perfect to your liking?
Yeah, everything so far is amazing.
Yeah. And David, did you have a question? Oh, sorry, I thought I saw a hand up. Okay, no worries. Um, and so making sure that everything's great. And now next time I would check in with them would be at the inspection objection. So we know that's where it can get a little squirrely and people get emotional and all of this. So after the inspection objection, so hey Anna, I know I completely understand you didn't want to have to pay for that sewer line, but as you know, it was necessary to get the buyers to move forward. I just wanted to check in with you, Anna, and make sure that we were still delivering on that promise and you're still having an exceptional real estate experience.
Yeah, it
Okay.
is. Yeah.
And while I'm checking in on you, do you happen to know of anyone else right now that can utilize my services that might be looking to buy or sell?
Yeah, I think my brother-in-law is actually looking to move to the area.
Wonderful. And then you would go ahead and get that information. So you don't have to wait till the end of the transaction to actually get this information completed. That's not necessarily the issue. You can do it at any given point throughout the different times of the transaction. So for me, you can do it at the listing, inspection, after appraisal, and then of course the day before closing. Okay, those would be your major points of checking in, making sure that the temperature, all you're doing is checking the temperature, right? Like, sometimes you get into these deals and you're like, man, I don't want to call the seller because they're going to definitely light me up. This is a different mythology where you want to get lit up, right? And I know that sounds kind of interesting, but you're okay with you want to solve their problem and make sure that you're delivering this high level. Now, as far as your promise goes, you can maybe call it something else. You could call it your commitment. You can call it whatever you like if you don't like the promise. You could also take your two things and change those up and ask for different things. Maybe you really want to be the #1 Yelp reviewed agent in the area. Well, then that would be something that you would ask them to complete for you. Maybe you have, whatever it is that you're wanting them to accomplish, but now I've just made an agreement with them that we're going to have this process that I'm going to deliver on what I'm going to do, and in turn they're going to deliver on what they need to do. Now, at the end of the transaction, right, the day before closing, a lot of people ask me why the day before and not the day of. Well, it's very simple. The day before closing is usually pretty okay, right? Day of closing, things might get squirrely, temperatures, you might be a different, pitch. But after I go through final closing numbers, they've seen the closing statement, I'm just going to break down to them very simply and explain to them, hey, great. So, again, I'm so excited. We're going to be closing tomorrow at 12. As you know, I hope that we still delivered upon the promise and delivered the most exceptional real estate experience to you. And tomorrow after we close, I would really appreciate that 5-star review. And then again, I wanted to check in with you right now to see if there was anybody that came to mind that might be looking to buy or sell that could utilize our services. Now, she might say, no, Brendan, I just don't know anybody. That's totally okay, Anna. I completely understand. Anna, I'm going to check in with you in another 30 days, and hopefully by then somebody's come to mind that you can refer to us. So no worries. I know you can't think of anybody right now, but I'm going to check in with you 30 days after the close anyway, and hopefully you have somebody for you by then.
Sounds
You've
great.
got to put your clients to work, right? You've delivered what you agreed upon. Now let's have them deliver to you what's going to help you grow your business and have you, make sure that you have a great, successful career. Okay, it works. Now, for example, on our team, we have, or if you have an assistant or a TC, our TCs, our transaction coordinators or client care specialists or whatever you're calling your people, the most amazing people on earth is what I call them, but they're going to do that first introduction. So after I pitch it in the listing presentation, for example, Annie on my team, she will then call them up and be like, hi, my name is Annie with the Bardic Group here at Keller Williams. Super excited that you have decided to list and sell your home with us. She takes them through her whole checklist of what to expect, timeline, all of that fun stuff. And then she pitches it and goes, and again, I just wanted to follow up and make sure that Brendan did talk to you about the promise, which makes us so special. Wanted to make sure that he did cover that with you. And that I'll be checking in with you over the course of the transaction to make sure that myself and our team are delivering upon that promise, right? So she's going to be checking in with them. And we have our team incentivized for when they, the transaction coordinator or client care specialist, receive a referral, they get a bonus. So they're financially motivated to do it, which keeps them involved in wanting to, do that. And now, could you do this with an outside TC that you're paying? Absolutely. You can do a lot more leveraging your outside TCs, your $350, $500, per transaction TCs than you think, as long as there's an incentive in there for them as well. So think about your $500 TC or $300, whatever you're paying. You have this script for her. She gets you a referral by the end of the transaction. You bonus her whatever money for doing that task. It's a win-win. You get a referral, she gets some extra money. So this is extremely, extremely powerful, but you've got to be very smooth and role play it and practice it before you just try to spit it out. Because again, if you kind of sound goofy doing it, they're going to be like, so you never did this promise and never delivered on said promise. You're just trying to use some script that Brendan told you. Okay. Right. So get comfortable, practice it a few times, make it your own. It works and it will change your business. Okay. All right, next up. So the other thing that we really want to talk about when we're selling 100 plus homes a year is how to market and get the most out of every listing we take. So these are the 14 social media marketing blasts. You can see that there's 8 for listings, 6 for buyers. And when I mean social media marketing blasts, these are opportunities for you to leverage your listing and get marketing out for your listing, but it's a double win, right? You're getting your property out there so buyers are interested in looking at the home, and you're marketing yourself to future sellers going, look at me, I'm a top producing agent, You guys think right now, and gals think that you're doing, amazing social media, or maybe you're not doing it at all. It's the easiest, most cost-effective marketing you can do on earth. So you list your cousin Joey's listing, it's your first listing, you're brand new to real estate. Boom, I've got 8 marketing opportunities to make me look like I sell 1,000 homes a year. And I gotta do them though, and I gotta make sure that they're structured and I have a checklist. So sneak peek, this is, hey, I've got a sneak peek, I've got this listing, it's a pocket listing, it's gonna be hitting the market. Coming soon, a single photo of the property that's gonna be coming out on the market with a little bit more details. As soon as you do the just listed, the full spread, bada, 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 all the magic about that. Again, when you're going to do your open house extravaganza, whether virtual or real one, and we'll talk about virtual here in a moment, right? After you get the offer accepted. So, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I got the offer accepted for my sellers. That's a post, right? Clear to close. Best day ever. Got my clients clear to close. So excited. They're going to be closing here in a few days on this beautiful home. Sold. You with a picture of them at the title company in masks and gloves and full hazmat gear, holding up a sign saying, yeah, we closed, right? Another marketing opportunity. Happy 1-year home anniversary. So again, oh my gosh, looking back to the past year, I was just it was one of the best experiences I ever had was selling the house to John and Susie. I can't believe it's been over a year. That's a lot, right? That's a marketing program. Now, with buyers, and you could add to this isn't the end-all list. You could have 20 touches. You could have 50. Buyer, you could have less. But let's at least try to set a goal for ourselves that we have 4, 5, 7. Start small and build up to it, but you need to do something. You're a walking billboard for your own personal business. If you're not marketing yourself, no one's going to do it for you, okay? So those are the marketing media blasts. They're effective. Make sure you're utilizing them.
Brendan, just really quick, do you have any advice or insight on how to do a coming soon post with the new rules from NAR?
Yeah, so again, with the new rules from NAR, all that affects is the MLS. That doesn't affect your ability to publicly market, okay? Now, I'm not a lawyer, and again, employing brokers on here will be like, whoa, right? But I'm allowed to let people know that I have a property coming soon to the market. I just have certain restrictions now as far as things that they're going to allow Zillow and some of these bigger companies to do. Now, check with your broker, your employing thing. Again, I'm doing everything I can to let people know that I'm a successful agent, and I'm doing everything I can to get as much exposure for my seller as humanly possible. Now, you can also explain these touches in your listing presentation when you're discussing to the seller as one of your value props on what makes you so powerful, okay? Now, is this gonna work if you have 14 Facebook friends? Probably not, right? If you don't have an Instagram account, it's probably going to be difficult for you to do these types of things, okay? But that's where we got to get in. Could you add a YouTube video? Yes, would be absolutely amazing. Drop a YouTube video about how excited you are and use that to get people to draw attention to it. Now, the other side effect of all of this is going to be building behind the scene when somebody Googles your name, your search engine optimization. Every time you post something, especially with YouTube, because YouTube is owned by Google, right? Since Google owns YouTube and it's the second most utilized search engine on earth, anytime you post a video of yourself, it's going to populate and get a higher preference of anything else. So if you have, I see people all the time where your name is like John Smith. If you're the name's John Smith, it's hard to dominate the first 2 pages of Google. If you want to do it, YouTube videos are the #1 way to get there. The fastest way to get there, period. YouTube videos and blog posts are the 2 fastest to get there, but YouTube still has a heavier weight, okay? Did that help?
Yeah, that's great. And you know what? Hey, Stephanie, would you mind going on mute? We're getting just a little bit of feedback.
Oh, I can do it for you.
Perfect, thanks.
All right, so moving on. Now, looking at the 8 steps you're gonna need to get your listing sold, okay? And it all starts with the #1, which is price it accurately the first time, okay? That's the #1 thing. So the 2 things that sell real estate, period, end of story, price and time. That's the only 2 things that sell real estate on this planet. Your role is to facilitate a transaction and make those 2 things either #1, the price be more effective so it sells quicker and for the highest amount, or #2, you're doing everything to affect the amount of time that it's going to take for it to sell. If I take an ugly, disgusting property and put it on the market and price it accurately, it will sell like that. If I put an ugly property on the market and overprice it, it will sell over the course of time. It might take a year or 2, but eventually the market will catch up to it and sell. So remember, price and time are the 2 only things that affect, a property getting sold. The rest of it is you enhancing how quick one of those 2 things happen. All right, professional marketing. So print marketing, just listed postcards, flyers, YouTube videos, social media, luxury listings, all that fun stuff. I try to explain to everyone your marketing budget for your listing should be a gauge of how much you want to spend versus how much you need to make and how much you're willing to risk. So if I'm going to take, this Friday, for example, I'm listing a home in Westminster in the Ranch, which is $2.8 million, okay? It's 11,260 square foot home, okay? We'll be going active this Friday. That marketing budget for that property is much different than a marketing budget I'm going to utilize for a 2,000 square foot home or condo or townhome in Arvada, right? So the budget has to be incremental to that, but you need to have a preset number going in and making sure that you have that, dialed in instead of just going, I see agents all the time. Should I do a video? Should I do brochures? Should I do this? Should I do that? I don't know, right? You need to have this strategy already pre-laid out, okay? Open houses, so use your dialer system to invite neighbors. So Mojo, dialing system, RedX, Vulcan 7, you're gonna call the neighborhood. Now, again, I'll talk about how to do this virtually. If you're doing a virtual open house, right? Only difference with a virtual open house is you're gonna coordinate with the sellers. If the property is owner occupied, the seller is going to be at the property and you're gonna do a virtual open house through your social media for a set time, and your seller is going to take them through the property all together. So virtual open house will look like this. Hey, we're having a virtual house extravaganza this Sunday at 12 o'clock on all my social media networks or Facebook. I'm going to live stream or whatever it is. So I'm going to live stream on Facebook. You're going to have your seller be the one that you're doing this live stream with, and they're going to take people through the property and talk about all the details, or be your video person and you're going to talk them through all the details. Okay, so it's not you're not gonna be sitting there for 3 hours. It's gonna be a one-shot buildup to get everybody there and then take them through the property in live time, okay? Now, if you have a Matterport, you can do this through the Matterport. You can talk about all the features and benefits of the house. Again, all of this is limited to what you believe in and how much you wanna make it an event, right? Everything's able to be leveraged. Now, in real life, you're going to do a 7th level open house, right? Where you're going to pre-call the neighbors. You're going to door knock 100 homes each direction of the property. You're going to send out postcards. You're going to invite people. You're going to tie it to a charitable event. So all of our open houses, when we're able to go back into the world again, right, we would tie them to a charitable event. So I'm making phone calls and I would say, hey, and again, whether you're using Kohl's or whatever company you're utilizing to source the phone numbers, I would call the neighborhood and say, hey, Anna, this is Brendan with Keller Williams Real Estate. Hey, we have a new property that's hitting the market this weekend, right down the street from you at 123 Elm Street, right next to the Horizon Middle School. I know you're familiar with Horizon Middle School. And we're so excited. We're inviting all the neighbors to come and take a look at it because I value your feedback and I want to make sure that you have a chance to pick your new neighbor. In addition to that, I'm actually doing a clothing drive for the veterans this weekend. So if you have any old clothes, I know probably right now you're cleaning out the closet for spring. If you'd like to drop those off, I'll make sure they get into the right hands. So do you have availability to come by and see the home Sunday at 12?
Yeah, I'll definitely be there.
Okay. So that's a script, and we have that in our script book that we offer for you on our Brendan Bardick Real Estate Coaching Facebook page. And again, I have it pre-recorded in our YouTube videos and on our podcast. So whatever way you want to connect with us, whether it be a podcast, video, scripts, we've got that information for you. But it's a very powerful way of getting, if you're having 5 or 6 people at your open house, my goal was to have 50 people minimum. Every open house, my only goal was to have 50 people attend my open house. Period, end of story, right? So I had to be doing these kind of activities instead of just going, oh man, it's Sunday, I better put a sign up and go, hope that somebody shows up for my sign down the street. It's just a waste of time. That's not an activity, that's a waste of actual physical time. So make sure you're doing the pre-steps to get the outcome that you want to receive, okay? Now, weekly phone updates. So again, we're going to be doing Drop It Like It's Hot Mondays. I'm going to talk to you about that here in a second. You're going to be updating the sellers. A lot of this comes down to making sure that you are 100% communicating with the seller in a strategic method that we're going to talk about how to set that up so the expectation is there. So you're not having to be every 5 minutes there's a showing, telling them what the showing feedback was. Every 5 minutes doing all of this. They want to work with somebody just as efficient. Some agents get into the mindset that you think you need to be talking to them every 5 seconds, right? And, oh, am I not talking to them enough? Oh, the showing just ended 4 minutes ago. I better call them right now. No, that's not how it works. That's not going to work for you as a top producing agent because you're going to lose all your time, which is going to take away from your lead gen, which is going to take away from you selling 100 plus homes each and every year, okay? So price adjustments, not reduction. Remove the word reduction from your vocabulary for the rest of your life. We're not reducing anything, Mr. Seller or Mrs. Seller. We're adjusting based upon the market conditions. We're not reducing, which means I'm slashing something. We're adjusting to be more in line with what the buyers are demanding right now, okay? Be very careful with that word. Remove price reduction from your vocabulary for the rest of your life, okay? Discuss the listings at your weekly sales meeting or your weekly Zoom. So one of the value props to my sellers. So look, we have an amazing office. We have over 200 agents. Every week I'm going to present your property to all of our agents via our weekly Zoom call. In addition, I have several other mastermind groups because I'm such an amazing real estate agent that I'm going to be talking to the top agents in the industry, right? Getting all that across to make sure that you're delivering on one of your values because that's something they can't do. A for sale by owner can't come to my sales meeting and pitch their property. A for sale by owner can't go in a top agent mastermind chat room on Facebook and pitch their properties. Well, maybe, but they'd be pretty sneaky to do it. So really emphasize that value on the special things that you can do different, okay? And then showing feedback. I'm going to explain here how to do showing feedback in the most effective way. Number one, a lot of people use the showing time automated feedbacks and allow that feedback to go straight to their seller. Do not ever do that in your life. You are shooting a dagger right into your head every time that you have an unedited or previewed showing feedback go directly to your seller. You need to look at it. You need to make sure that the packaging of that wording is going to convey what that buyer's feedback really was, but put it into a format that is not going to make your sellers go crazy. And I see this all the time. Showing feedback, love the property, I'm sure it'll sell super quick, it's priced right. Am I going to put that feedback to my seller? No, of course I'm not going to provide that feedback to my seller. I'm going to call the agent and I'm going to say, Mr. David, thank you for the feedback. You gave all this great feedback. So if it was so amazing, then are your buyers going to be making an offer? Well, no, well, why not? Well, it just wasn't really the right one for them. Well, can you please explain to me why? I really would love some details on why it wasn't the right ones, because you said to me that it would, and be nice about it. I was just curious because you said it was absolutely phenomenal, so great price. Well, because, it didn't have the 4th bedroom that they really needed. It didn't have this. Now that's feedback. I'm going to take that feedback to my seller and explain to them on what the real reason is, instead of sending them some automated feedback that says they're priced right and amazing. Because that's never, if I send them that feedback, if I'm ever hoping to have a price adjustment because we know that the buyers aren't willing to buy their property, they're going to go, well, everybody seems to think it's price perfect, Brendan, so what's the problem? It's not smart. There is a problem. You just didn't take the time to pick up the phone and dig a little bit deeper. So dig deep, get real feedback, get to the real core, and deliver that feedback to your seller. Okay? All right. And then be honest. I see a lot of agents tiptoeing around all of these things and, hey, the home smells like cat pee. So Anna, somebody has complained slightly that there's a little bit of odor in your home. That's not going to help her. Anna, look, unfortunately, the feedback I'm receiving is that the home reeks of cat urine. So we need to address this as soon as possible. Here's some strategies on what we can do. And then I give her the strategies on how to get the cat pee smell to go away. Okay.
Brendan, how often do you provide this feedback back to your sellers? Is it once? Is it multiple times?
That's an excellent question. So with the automated feedback, I'm either editing the feedback after showing time and sending it to them digitally in a respectable time. Now, here's the pitch to the seller. They always think that agents are going to go show one house, do the feedback, get in their car, and send it right to them. So in my preparation for my seller and in my expectations, I go, hey, David, just so you understand, and I want to make sure very clear, I want the feedback just as much as you do, but here's the issue with agents. They're going to show your property and maybe show 20 or 30 other ones. Then they're going to wait a day or two because they have to come back and do all of their, follow-up, and then they're going to maybe provide that feedback to me. Now, I call them, of course, immediately, but as you know, David, sometimes they're busy. They won't call me back, and again, they're showing 20 different houses. So as soon as I receive the feedback, I'm going to make sure it gets in your hands. Don't think you're waiting on me. Now that's setting an expectation, right? And that's very important, because if you don't set that expectation after every showing, you're going to get the text. Text is a blessing and a curse, because you're going to get the text. Any thoughts on what the buyer felt? Any thoughts on what the buyer felt? Did they like it? Did they like it? Did they like it? Did they like it? You're going to go nuts. And then here's where you screw up. The first time you go, yes, they liked it, but they know that every time you're going to respond like a dog to that little treat, you're going to respond to that text, and they're going to ruin your life. So you got to set this standard, and you text them back and you go, completely understand you're excited about the feedback. As I explained when we first talked, I don't control how quickly the agents provide me the feedback. I have called, texted, emailed them, and I'm excited to receive it back. Once I do, you'll be the first to know. Okay? So control the timetable, control the conversation. All right, good. All right, moving forward. It's Friday, set up the weekend, right? So this is how you set up the Friday. We take all of our listings active, and I've been doing this for years, every Thursday, because statistically we know that's when the most agents and buyers look at the internet to set their showings for the weekend. So Friday is the setup, okay? So the script you see here, so Anna, hi, I'm looking forward to our open house extravaganza this weekend. I will collect all the feedback from the showings and the open houses and call you on Monday morning to discuss the details, review any offers we receive, okay? It's a short, when you can kind of present this however you want, but basically I'm going to say, look, if we're having open houses, great. If you're not and you're doing the virtual situation, so hey Anna, it's Brendan. Hey, look, I'm excited. The property's going to hit the market Friday morning or Thursday afternoon or whatever time frame you're going to have it on. Make sure it's just the same time all the time. And again, we're going to have it active to the world. Now with the COVID-19 situation, please understand that we're going to be having a lot of virtual showings. So Anna, this means that people are going to be looking at your property all weekend long. I'm going to be analyzing all of that data. They might not physically come and see it due to the current situation, but believe me, instead of thinking about them walking through their house, they're walking through your house virtually. So on Monday, I'm going to collect all the data. And if we do have showings, and again, we can have showings depending upon the safety measures and making sure that everything is safe if you're doing that, right? But on Monday, I'm going to communicate the feedback to you of everything that happened over the weekend. Then from there, right, we'll be able to discuss the next steps moving forward. So I'll be calling you Monday at 11 a.m. Does that time work for you?
Sounds great.
Super, right? So now it's in my calendar. It doesn't affect my lead generation time. I'm going to call her 11 o'clock or whoever your seller is, and I'm going to go through this. Now I'm not getting the call all weekend long going, what's going on? What's going on? How'd the showing go? How'd the open house go? If you're doing open houses and we're back in the real world, look, we're going to have our open house extravaganza Saturday and Sunday from 12 to 3. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I'm going to collect all the data from the entire weekend, all the showings, all the feedback, and then communicate that to you Monday at 11 o'clock. Cool? Protect your weekends, protect your time. Protect and also set a standard. The sellers want to work with somebody that has, their clients want to work with somebody that has standards. They want to get into a rhythm the same way. They don't want to be sitting there in anxiety going, well, we had the open house, but man, I wonder what happened. Oh, I don't know. Okay. Now, you might still have demanding sellers who are like, I want to know what happened after the open house, period, end of story. If that's the case, you still need to set the standard with them to make sure that you're going to provide that at X amount of time on Saturday or Sunday if you're doing double days. All right? So this is a very important piece that I see people not do all the time. And then you just go, well, I've got 3 listings. There's no way I could take on any more business. It's because it's not structured correctly. All right. Now, we've had our open house extravaganza. It was absolutely phenomenal. Now, unfortunately, we didn't receive any offers, and it's Monday morning, 11 o'clock, and I'm going to be talking to Anna, and it's Monday. Now it's time to drop it like it's hot, okay? So we're going to go into this very simply with a very simple script, okay? This is all available on our Brendan Bardick Real Estate Coaching page, YouTube, podcast, and we'll put links in there for you to get this information, okay? Price adjustment call script. So, Anna, I'd love you to role play this with me.
You got it.
Wonderful. So, Anna, hey, it's Brendan. I wanted to give you a quick update with the results from this past weekend. And again, depending on when you listed, we had a great launch weekend. We had about 16 to, well, now it's digital, right? We had about 260 views of your property on all the 1,800 plus websites that we promote, and again, internationally and nationally. And unfortunately, Anna, at this point, no one's decided to make an offer based on all the feedback. Anna, we have a few options. Number one, we can wait and do nothing and just see if a buyer's going to show up and make an offer on your home. Option number two, we can add additional value to your home in the eyes of the buyer. So we could, remodel the kitchen, we could add landscaping, you could paint it, you could do all these things to increase and bring up the value. Or number three, Anna, we can adjust the price of your home so we're a better value in the eyes of the buyer so they'll make an offer on your home. Anna, what would you like to move forward with today?
I think number 3 makes the most sense.
Well, that's beautiful. Now, Anna's a great role play partner. She's the best role play partner on earth because she always says what's on the script, which is wonderful, right? So number 3, well, great. I'll draft up the amendment for the price adjustment, have it over to you later for signatures. Now, if they come back and they go, well, you know what, Brendan, I think we're just going to wait and see what happens. It's only been a weekend. Anna, here's my concern. As you know, every day we're on the market, we become a depreciating asset. The interest level in your property drops lower and lower every single day we're on the market. And you did tell me you wanted to net the most money possible for the home, correct?
Yeah, we need every dollar.
Yeah. So right now what the market's telling us with not having a single offer in this initial weekend is that we're priced outside of what a buyer's willing to pay for your current home, or they feel that there's other homes out there that have better offerings that are a stronger value, and they're taking their money and making offers on their home. So as we discussed, number one, maybe not the best option. Number two, we can talk about that, but I do think you said that you didn't really want to spend any more money updating the home or doing any of these projects, correct?
Yeah, I've done enough already. I want to be done.
Yeah, and I don't think it would matter anyway right now, Anna, because the buyer's going to want to come in and do whatever they want to do to the home regardless. They might not like what you do to it. So that really leaves us with number three. Okay, so that's how that script works. All right, now they still might say, I don't care, I'm going to wait another week. Cool. Monday, 11 o'clock the following week, same three options. So now it's been 2 weeks, Anna. Again, completely understand. Unfortunately, again, we don't have an offer. We've done all of our marketing. We've done postcard mailers. I've making phone calls. I've been sitting here all day long trying to find a buyer for your home. Unfortunately, the market has responded that they don't feel right now that you're a strong enough value to make an offer. So we have these three options. Number one, and you go right back through it. I can tell you, this is probably, out of this entire class, this is, if not the most important piece of it. If you cannot do price adjustments and get your sellers to where they want to go, especially with this COVID situation, I mean, unlike anything we've ever dealt with in the history of our life. And again, I've been through, all the different price adjustment, market adjustments and all this. This is a whole new world of making sure pricing has to be done correctly. Right? Now, a lot of people get scared. They go, well, if I do the price adjustment, Brendan, what if they just decide to pull the property from the market? Then you shouldn't have it on the market. If they're not motivated to get the home sold, then you're wasting your time anyway. So that goes back to the earlier point where you're not being honest about this situation. Now, if they do say, hey, we're going to pull it and wait and see what happens next year, I completely understand, Anna, that you may want to pull the property from the market. But here, let's take a look at the facts. Right now, we're at the top of a 10-year high in the pricing of where all the homes in the Front Range area have been. 10-year high. We knew it was going to correct anyway because all of our real estate cycles happen in a 7 to 10 year cycle. This just lit the match that caught it on fire and made it go a lot faster. So if you wait a year, what I'm worried about is that the prices are going to go down another 10 to 15%, and you're going to lose all that hard-earned equity you've already put into the property. So I understand that you're concerned about dropping the price 3 to 5%, but is it smarter to do that than risk 10 to 15% later?
Yeah, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. So I just want to make sure you're okay. So let's all you're doing is trying to explain logic. And that is a very true statement. I am scared for my sellers right now. I am coming across with that kind of fear that winter is coming. We know winter's coming. We don't know how long winter's going to be, but it's coming, and we know if it's not already here, it's coming. So just be very honest about this, be able to have those conversations, and then to get good at these scripts, go to role play, have a role play partner. It's vitally important. In our office, every day we have live role play from 12 to 12:30. Our entire real estate office has live role play. Every morning at 7:30, find an accountability partner and do 15 minutes of role play, practicing this. If you know it's Monday and you got to go and do this script because your property's been sitting there for 6 weeks, whatever it is, you can do this. Let me get this stigma out of your head. The only reason my home's not selling is because of the COVID-19 situation. As soon as this is over, it's going to sell really fast. Nope. Houses are selling every day. We put 6 homes under contract this week. So I know homes are selling. Your client's home isn't selling. And it's because they're either not a strong enough value versus the other competition or the price. Okay. So the other setup before doing this, and I'm going to give you some pro tips here that aren't even in this presentation. Here's a pro tip. The setup to make the price adjustment work for you without you having to do all of this verbally is you're going to set up your clients either in your own website or in Matrix or MLS, whatever your system you're using in whatever city or state you're in, right? You're going to go in and you're going to set up this simple search for your sellers to receive every single day. Okay, write this down. So you're going to set up a search for all homes that are the same size or bigger than them, priced less than them in their zip code. So same size or bigger, priced less in their zip code, and have that sent to them every single day. Now, if they're not number one as the lowest one that shows up on that list, and they won't be, believe me, unless you have literally a property that's just, and if you are number one, then that means they're the lowest priced and they're the best value, but there's something jacked up in the house. It's got that cat pee smell, it backs up to a train, it has a crazy lady that lives in it that won't leave for showings, it's got some other issues that we're dealing with, but that's the reason. So now I explain this to my sellers, I go, look, for us to get an offer in this current situation, we need to be in the top 3 or number 1, and in the zip code for value, or you could do their neighborhood, depending upon how weird the area is. You could start in their neighborhood. I like to go further out so they see a lot more properties, because they might think, hey, we're the cheapest house in the Meadows here in Castle Rock, or we're the cheapest house in so-and-so here in Reunion. I get it. Yeah, that's true. But let's look at the whole zip code. That's why you're not getting an offer, is because you're not the best value in the overall area. And then that does the work for you, okay? So let that do the work for you. All right. Price objections, okay? So we've got scripts for this. So let's just try 475 and see what happens. Now, when you're doing your price adjustment, the first thing the seller is going to say to you is, so Brendan, what do you think we should adjust it to? Anna, it's not what I think or feel we should adjust it to. It's what the market is telling us. And as I said, I've been sending you those emails every day. Currently, we're number 17 in the entire zip code as far as the overall best value. We need to get into that top 3, and to be in that top 3, that means that we're going to need to be at X. Okay, you could do it based off price per square foot. We're going to need to be based off of X. Okay, so use that leverage, use price per square foot, use their rankings. So it's not about you. Here's the worst thing you can do. Well, you know what? I think we should probably just take about 10 grand off. They do the price reduction for 10 grand. They don't sell next week. You go another 3 weeks and try to tell them they need to do another price adjustment. Brendan, you told me to just drop it 10 grand and it didn't sell, you jerk off. What's your deal? Yeah, if you remember, I didn't tell you 10 grand. We looked at where you were ranking right now. And at that time, it was enough to get us into the top 3, but obviously it still wasn't enough to get the home sold. So now we've got to go in even bigger to make sure you're an overwhelming home run value for any buyer out there right now, because they don't think that you are. What would you like to do? Okay, so get really, really scripted at your price objections. All right, now, we did everything right. We've got an offer, thank goodness, but we're listed at 500 and the offer's at 450, right? And you get it and you go, oh, I can't freaking believe they gave me this lowball offer. That is in your head. There is no such thing in my universe on earth as a lowball offer. Right now, I've got a buyer that's made an offer on a property, that's willing to purchase a property. That's what the going rate is right now, because no one else is making an offer on it. If it was priced, accurately at 500, we'd have 10 offers on it, right? So get out of your head that there's this, you have some conception about what the pricing should be and what the value should be to your seller. The value of a home is what a buyer's willing to pay for it. The value of a home, or any object on earth, is what a buyer's willing to pay for it. You put your bike on Craigslist, you put it, and I tell sellers this all the time. They're like, well, what? I'm like, think about this, John, right? You've owned a bike at some point in your life, a bicycle or a motorcycle or any type of bike. You put it on Craigslist for $500. It doesn't sell. What do? You bring down the price until somebody comes and buys the bike, until the point where you just give it away because nobody wants it. Okay? It's the same concept. Don't overcomplicate it with this bigger scale. Well, you don't understand, Brendan, it's luxury. You don't know. It's very different in the luxury market. No, it's not. It's absolutely not, right? Every luxury home will sell for a price. The lower that price is, the faster the home will sell. That's math. That's science. It's pretty simple, right? Don't get over in your head. It just takes time. You don't understand, in our market, it takes 4 years for a house to sell. No, it takes 4 years for a house to sell when you price it $400,000 overpriced. That's what takes the long time, okay? If it's value strong enough, there's a buyer that's going to buy it today. So again, offer accepted. Remember, if the seller counters you, you just submitted a new offer to the buyer. What that means is we get the offer at 500. I'm going to submit the offer to the seller. And again, I'm going to go back to my options. So hey, we've got a great offer, Anna. It's, fantastic. We received an offer. It's been 2 weeks and we've got this great offer. I put all the offer details in the email to you. Did you have a chance to review all that?
Yeah, I sure did.
Wonderful. So at this point, Anna, you have a few options. Number one, accept the offer and move forward to a successful closing. Number two, counter the offer and run the risk that the buyer will walk away and not move forward to a successful closing. Or number three, decline the offer and guarantee that the buyer won't move forward to a successful closing. What would you like to do?
Let's go ahead and accept that offer.
God, I love Anna, best seller ever, right? So she says, yes, great, excellent. All you need to do is sign the little box that says font in the electronic signature portion, and we're moving forward. She says, yeah, I'm just disappointed on the price. Are you freaking kidding me? $450, I'm insulted. All right, well, let's talk about that. So again, right now, we looked at all the feedback. That's the only offer that we have right now. Let's take a look at the options. Now, Anna, you did say that you wanted to be in your new home in Wash Park by the end of June, correct? Right?
Yeah, I sure did, yeah.
Yeah, so Anna, if we don't do that, right, if you don't accept this offer, that could definitely make that not happen because we don't know when the next offer may come in. So again, let's go back to the three options. Which one would you like to do? In presenting options, and please understand this for all of you that are amazing top producing sales agents, options are the best way to be a consultant and not a salesperson. So, well, Brendan, what do you think we should counter back at? Well, let's again think about this. If we counter back at all, what we're doing, John or Anna, is we're presenting an offer back to the buyer for them to need to accept. We're presenting an offer back to the buyer that they need to accept. They look at that, they look at the other 3 homes they saw that day, they go and make another offer on one of those other homes, and that buyer is now gone forever. And this is a qualified buyer, Anna. Pre-qualified, Wells Fargo, good to go. All the rest of the contract is very clean. Is it worth it? Only you can make that decision. I'll support you in anything you want to do. All right? It is powerful, and it's the right thing to do. You're not suggesting, you're not making any options, but you're telling them the truth. They don't accept this offer. You don't know what could happen in the future. Let me answer this. Guess how many people wish right now, wish on us, find the biggest star on earth that they would have accepted the offer that they received for $50,000 under asking price the week before COVID-19 happened. Think about how many people wish they would have taken that offer. All right, so be smart. We don't know what the future holds. We know what holds in our hand right now. We know what we hold right now. That's the only thing we can control, okay? So now they've got your offer accepted. Now we're gonna deliver the promised second touch. We're under contract, right? So you're gonna bring it up again. Great, so I'm glad that we got under contract, super excited. Anna, as you know, my entire business is built on great clients just like you. So happy we got you under contract so quickly. Who do you know right now, Anna, that I could help buy or sell a home?
Yeah, my cousin. I'll give you her contact info.
Thank you so much. Now they say, no, I can't think of anybody. Anna, I would really appreciate you thinking about it as hard as you can. I'd love to touch base with you here in a few days and see if you have anybody for me.
Sounds great.
That's it. You're not pushy. This is how you build your business. You just help them get under contract in 3 days. You're a hero. Let me be the hero for more people like you. It's what I love to do. But they won't do anything if you don't ask them. You can't get it if you don't ask. You'll just sit there, and then at the end of the transaction, you're going to buy them a big old closing gift, high five them, never see them again, check in with them maybe once in a while, and you never received a referral from them in your entire life because you never thought once to ask for it. Ask for the referral, and this does it in a way that doesn't make you look like a dirtbag. Okay, now we got past that. Boom, this is another one that you really want to pay attention to, inspection objection. All right, this email is gold. It is absolute gold that you're seeing right here. So these are the steps of what I send to every seller after I receive it. So here it is. I get the inspection objection. It's got 95,000 things on it, right? They want basically for my seller to build a brand new house from scratch. I go, great. All right, here we go. So I'm going to send them this email with these 4 options, attach the inspection report, any other inspection items that are included on it. And I'm going to email this entire email to them. And I'm also there's a line on here that's missing, but there's a line on here that says, please click on the links below, review carefully, and call me to discuss. What I actually usually have on there is, please click on the links below, and are you available today at, and I put a time on there that's at least 4 to 5 hours from the time of me sending this email, okay? So I put that in there because I want to have them, they're gonna get the initial email and go, ah, you son of a, these people want to do this to my house. Oh my God, they can suck it. I'm not doing a darn thing. I'll keep the dang thing. They have to go through this cycle of emotions, right, as a seller, and then settle down, take a deep breath. So if you send this over at 9 a.m., have a 4 o'clock phone call or a 3 o'clock phone call. You get in your head that like, I just got it. I got to get it over to him right now. There's some like imaginary clock happening. Oh my gosh, it's the credit, you know. No, get it over to them, set a time, and allow them to chill out. Okay. All right. So now this doesn't mean they still won't call you back immediately and be like, you don't answer the phone. You don't do anything. You already sent them the email. Let them chill out. Okay. So you can now in this email, you can agree to address all the concerns in the inspection objection, option 1, and move forward to a successful closing. Number 2, propose a credit, a cash amount at closing from proceeds or price reduction in lieu of repairs that I present to the buyer's agent and see if they'll accept it and move forward to a successful closing. Number 3, propose an alternative resolution with a combination of repairs and a credit I will present to the buyer's agent and see if they will accept it and move forward to a successful closing. Number 4, reject the buyer's inspection objection and allow them to terminate the contract and not move forward to a successful closing. All right. So very, very important piece here. All right. Now you have the call script. So now it's 4 o'clock. You sent this to them earlier in the day. You're going to call them up and just go through the options, just like how we did. If there's one thing I hope you take away from this session is all of your conversations that you're dealing with that are what we would call not difficult, but you know, high temperature conversations, you have to be a real estate consultant and give them options. Then they make the decision instead of you recommending or your opinion that's going to come back to bite you in the future. So great script here. Again, this is available on Brendan Bardick Real Estate Coaching on all of our ways to connect with us. So go and check it out, recite it, script it, learn it, breathe it. Every scenario that you have to deal with, there's 3 options that you can usually solve it. You might need 5, you might need 4, there might be only 2, but you've got to give them options, okay?
Hey, Brendan, really quick, if those inspection results come in, and let's say it is quite close to the period near the close of the option period, like the day before, what do you change your timeline at all in how you reach out to them?
Well, that probably falls on you that you let it get to that point with the seller. I mean, with the buyer's agent. Right? I set very clear expectations with the buyer agent on what needs to be done. But the answer is yes, you have some non-talented, I'm trying to be PC, non-talented agent that sends you over an inspection objection at 8 o'clock at night on the inspection objection deadline date. Yes, you now have to, you still send the email with all the stuff we still talked about, but you're going to have to call that seller in the next 10 or 15 minutes unless you want to stay up till midnight. So yeah, I'm with you. It's the worst thing on, unfortunately. And then again, this is where you just have to be overly communicating, bulletproofing the transaction, you know, per like the shift book to make sure this kind of stuff doesn't happen because it just adds everybody more stress. And it's because that buyer agent isn't strong enough to go to their buyers. And I'm doing a whole additional class on how to do this on the buy side. So you think all of these techniques are just on the sell side. These techniques are 1,000 times more beneficial on the buy side, because if you can control the buyer's expectations of what reality is and come from them as a consultant, they're not going to put in an inspection objection with 49 different things on it at 8 o'clock at night. And I have all kinds of techniques and scripts to cover that. So please, you know, feel free to attend our future classes. All right. Delivering the promise. Now, third touch, we're past inspection. Boom. I'm going to hit you up the 3rd time to get me great English, to receive a referral from you, okay? Now, or your transaction coordinator or client care specialist, whatever you're titling them, right? So again, want to check in, Anna. Hey, we got past inspection, super excited. We're on our way now, da, 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 da. Hey, I know, you know, you hadn't given me anybody from before. I just want to double check. I just want to help more. I like working with you, Anna. do you know anybody else like you that I could help sell real estate or that might need my services right now? Okay, so go again right there. All right, closing techniques. So the day of closing, you have your closing give, add past clients to the mailing campaign, put on a home search once a month for their neighborhood, follow-up call 30 days after close. All right, here's the thing. In my career of selling, especially when I was highly doing it for about 10 to 15 years, just myself, and selling 130 homes every year, right? What I did was I never went to closings, never, right? And everybody was like, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? How can you not go to the closing? That's the time where you build the bond with the seller. No, that is a huge waste of time of me sitting there for hours eating cookies and having awkward conversation. That does nothing on earth for me. So the preparation of that the day before closing has to be so solid and so elegant and so crystal clear of what's going to happen with them tomorrow at the closing table that there's no need for me to be there. I wouldn't go with somebody to the DMV to help them get their driver's license. Why am I going to go to a title company to have them to sign paperwork to get their home? What magic am I going to do when I'm there that's going to prevent anything from happening? Nothing. And I can tell you I did this hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times, okay? Now, if they were a psychotic seller and I knew that I was going to have some fireworks and things like that, I might make the decision to go, or I would send one of my TCs to go to take the bullet for me. Right? But that's the other thing. You can only protect your time. Every hour you're wasting in a closing is an hour you could be doing lead genning, an hour you could be negotiating other deals, an hour you could be working on your website, an hour you could be doing on this. And we all know there's not a closing you've been to on earth that's been an hour. I mean, you might have that one home run where you're like, wow, I was in and out. Yeah, not usually. Now, if you are going to go to closings, second pro tip, never do closings together. The title company gets super irritated with me all the time. I have done separate closings my entire career. I will never do it where I have both sellers and buyers in there. And you're going in your head right now. I can hear that little voice going, well, that's just weird because the people like to talk about all the things and tell them how to use the sprinklers and no. Again, it's awkward. There's always issues that could come up. Usually somebody feels that something went sideways along the way. Do a separate closing, and it takes longer. Do a separate closing with the seller if you're going to go to it, because it's going to be faster because you're not sitting there waiting for loan documents. Now, to do this, you have to have a great title company that you're partnered with that understand how you operate. And I've gone in and role played with the closers. I'll go through this because you'll also, if you just do this with random closers will throw you under the bus real quick, right? Random closer will be like, oh yeah, your agent's not here. Super weird. All the other agents I work with are always here for the closings. Yeah, you just got shot right in the face, right? So you've got to script them, practice with them so they know your system and they act as you there, all right? Believe me, it's a game changer, okay? All right, so now that second piece, put on a home search once a month for their neighborhood. This is where people get confused. They're like, why would I put them on a home search? They just sold. Once a month, I want them seeing homes in their neighborhood from my website that are listed $100,000 above their home value and $100,000 under. So if they bought a home for 500 grand, I'm going to do their neighborhood or zip code, homes that are available 400 to 600,000. The reason is it's just part of my 33 touch. It's a passive touch. People love seeing what's happening in their neighborhood, and they see their neighbor's house pop up on the market a year from now, and it's $50,000 more than what they just bought their house for. And they realize that they hated the house because they hate each other because of COVID and they're getting divorced, right? They go, wow, my neighbor just down the street just listed for $550. Let's call Brendan now and see what our house would sell for. That title of it says custom home or active homes in your neighborhood, or custom home search for John of all the active homes in your neighborhood. Right? Always have their name in the title because it makes it personal. Any subject line you can ever have, put the seller's name in the title to make it personal. It also helps it with the email rules of not going to junk email as much if you have their name in the subject line. All right. Then follow-up call after 30 days. So now you're going to call and check in with them. Again, I see agents not do this because they're like, oh, I don't know if they're going to yell at me. You're going to address their problems. The microwave broke. Brennan, day we moved in, the microwave broke. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? I am so sorry. What can I do to help? That's all they want to hear. What can you do to help? It's not my responsibility that your microwave broke. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, the inspector didn't catch it. All right, well, let's call the inspector, right? And anytime I'm talking about something that somebody's mad about, I whisper, I completely understand. Anna, I get that you're mad. I'm mad too. Let's be mad together. But let me go to work for you to get the problem solved. Then I come back, solve the problem, and ask for what? A referral.
Yeah.
Right? I want issues to come up because I'm going to solve them and ask for a referral. Don't look at issues as a problem, look at them as an opportunity, right? It's very, very important. So those are every, kind of stepping point that we have on how to sell the properties. If you have additional questions on this, okay, I'm going to be doing a full class on just the promise here in the future where we'll go into it in full depth. We'll show you all the different things that we can do with that. But again, Brendan Bardick Real Estate Coaching, would love for you to give me a review. I thrive off of your guys' energy and for attending these classes. We want to keep delivering the best content to you. I hope you took at least 1 to 2 takeaways from this. I would really do ahas and see what you thought. But remember, these are techniques. These are what your competition are doing at the highest level to make sure that they're getting all you're doing is squeezing every amount of juice you can out of every opportunity instead of getting an opportunity and just letting it slip through your fingers. Let's squeeze the juice out of it and use it and leverage it because it's a win-win. It helps the seller and it helps you. So again, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. Next week, I'm going to be going over our 10-25-90 program. This is the client giveaway, the business spotlight where we feature our clients and how to do that, and then the 90-day event for each one of them. This is a game changer especially if you want to do a database driven system. If you hate cold calling as much as, I don't really enjoy doing it, then this is what this is so you never have to cold call ever again. If you set this up correctly, you'll have people calling in to you. Our last giveaway that we just did for a $250 Whole Foods gift card, we had 98 people call in, received 10 referrals, and we converted one of those into a contract from a $250 Whole Foods gift card. And you don't even have to spend the $250. You could do a $50 Starbucks card. You could do a gift certificate to a restaurant. You could do all these things. I'm going to talk about all of the options of what worked for us, what didn't work for us. It's a game changer, right? So that's going to be Tuesday, May 5th at 1:30 Mountain Standard Time. And again, we're going to leave the chat box open for a little bit. Any other questions before I say farewell?
We've got 2 I was hoping you could answer. Number 1, can you kind of speak to the ranges of closing gifts as far as price goes?
Absolutely. So it shouldn't have anything to do with price. All of our closing gifts are very identical, where it's a cutting board, I believe it's a cheese knife, and it's all wrapped in this little package. And again, I don't do it anymore. I apologize. I can refer you to our amazing client care specialist. But the big thing about closing gifts, it's gotta be branded, right? I want something that's going to stick around. I just heard of a really cute idea, which was branded fire extinguishers, because usually you mount them in your garage and you always see them there, and then your logo's on the fire extinguisher. Thought that was a great idea. It has to be consistent with you. I was just on Gary Keller's Top 100 Agent Mastermind yesterday, and there's an agent down there in Dallas, and he's called the Smoker Broker. He's the Smoker Broker because he's a competitive barbecue broker that does, or not competitive, yeah, semi-pro competitive barbecuer. I don't even know. Smoker, sorry, excuse me. So his title is the Smoker Broker. So of course his closing gift is going to be branded to barbecue stuff, right? Because that goes with his brand. So identify. I still have people, I love the cutting board because people use it on a daily basis. They see the logo, they see the phone number. I think it's a big one. I also have people that go, Brendan, I've been using your cutting board so long, they'll send me a picture and be like, this thing it's lived its last life. No problem, I'll have one to you the next morning. I'll give somebody a cutting board every single month if I have to keep my name in front of them. So yeah, do something that's branded, do something that sticks around, do something that's going to be utilized, and something that's going to be visual. I see people go to Bed Bath & Beyond or Crate & Barrel and buy these beautiful blankets and champagne bottle. You drink a champagne bottle, it's a wrap. What are you going to do with a champagne bottle? Nothing, right? That's a no-go. Do things that matter. And again, they don't have to be that expensive. Just remember, you know, I have a lot of people that do coffee cups, that do Yetis, logoed Yetis. You know, anything that's going to sit around the house or their office that's going to get your name in front of them.
Love it. And then as far as the neighborhood snapshots go, where do you send these reports from? Is it the MLS, or do you have some sort of collab center?
Yeah,
Can you
so this would be from my website personally, or if you're using, you know, Keller Williams website or whatever company you're with, I don't ever want to use the MLS ever, because that gets search engine optimization to the MLS. Every time somebody clicks on the MLS, and again, guys, another pro tip is on the buyer side, I don't ever use the MLS to do my buyer properties either. I only use my website because, again, I don't want to make RE Colorado rich and have them show up in Google search results. I want to make myself rich, and I want to show up in Google search results. I have 27,862 people in our database right now for the Barta Group at Keller Williams. Every single person in there is set up on some form of search in some form or fashion. Imagine how many hits a day my website receives. So that's the thought. Great question. Do not use external. And if your person's addicted to Redfin or Zillow, you gotta just explain to them that information is not accurate. I know you might like the format because you've been used to it, but it's delayed, it's not accurate, there's inaccuracies. Mine's directly from the MLS, but packaged in a much smoother program that makes it a better user interface for you. And I have the app, if you're having your user app from Keller Williams or whatever you're doing, I have all of these weapons at my disposal. Use those. Good. All right. So again, Anna will stick around. If you think of anything else that comes up, write it in the chat box. If you like this, you know, give me a thumbs up or give me some sort of, you know, high five, whatever. I appreciate you guys. And then again, please go to our websites. Every like, comment, share, feedback, you know, fuels us to do more great classes. And as always, I wish you great success.